Hey guys, welcome back to Her Circle. Today we are going to be kind of talking about some pet peeves that we feel like everyone, like collectively, would find irritating, and then individual pet peeves that may or may not be on the list that we've created. So we just thought it would be funny to discuss this because I think everyone has
like pet peeves,
which is reasonable.
Yeah. I think some of them are there's very universal things that everyone can probably all come together and be like, yeah, no, that's not okay.
Yeah, collectively agree. Yeah. But I also think that people are so socially blind that they don't even realize what they're doing is so not okay.
Yeah, like let's not do that.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting, like the generation that's my kids' age coming up, to see how much more like social awareness decreases. So, because I've got a couple scenarios that I'm like thinking of with that I've had interactions with other people's kids and going, okay, I can tell that kid has a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
So we didn't grow up with like screen time, but I also feel like people our age have a pretty good social awareness, but like just slightly younger than us, there's a lot of social awareness and cues that have just kind of disappeared. So
I don't know. I feel like I've also noticed like older people, like older than me, sometimes like it's missing there too. Sometimes. I don't know if it's just they get to a point where they don't care.
Yeah.
But like social boundaries or like watching like your surroundings, knowing where, like things like that I'm like, what? Why did you do that? Or like, why did you walk all the way up to me and then like stop when you already saw me and then like go around me? And you're like, I'm like, I was already here. And then you look at me like I'm in the way and I'm like, I couldn't go anywhere. You were walking towards me. Like just weird things like that I'm like, bro, get out of my way. I'm like, or stay on the same, like opposite sides. Like I feel like when you walk down something, it's like cars, right?
Right.
Well, when you have somebody that's like on the opposite side and you kind of like, I usually will stop and wait to see like what they're going to do. Cause I don't want to do the whole thing where you go to the side and they go and you like do the whole dance.
Yeah. The little dance in the middle of the grocery store aisle.
And then if I do that, sometimes I get looks that they're looking at me like I'm the problem. And I'm like, I'm just waiting for you to figure out what you're next doing. Move. So I'm just going to wait here. And then it's like an inconvenience to go around me. And I'm like, okay, like, I'm sorry. I thought I was correct. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
It's too intense.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, right. So I feel like I've noticed that at like older than me. I don't want to say old, but I'm like, maybe you get to a point where you don't care.
Yeah.
And you're like,
or is it like an age thing where you think because you're older that other people should just kind of adjust around you maybe?
Which I'm not against adjusting if I have to, or like older people, like usually like, if I'm like, okay, you're not moving or cruising great, I'll help you hold the door, get around you. I'm not going to worry. But my thing is, it's like when I'm trying to stop and like let you figure out what you're doing and I'm not doing anything. It's not like I'm over here like huffing and puffing at you, but like move. And then you go around me and I'm in the way when I was like, well, I thought I was on the right side. I thought I was doing the correct thing. Like
maybe you are the pet peeve that people have.
Maybe. So when I do that, I should go around them. But then it's like, I feel like when I start going around, that's when they're like, oh, they decide it. Yeah. You know, they're like, oh, like they see me move. So they realize what they're kind of in the way. And then they go move. And I'm like, so sometimes I'll just like kind of wait and see what they're going to do before I make actions.
Sounds like a lose-lose.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. Like, okay. It's like one time I was driving in the car and a lot of my pet peeves are driving related. I have road rage.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things that bother me about drivers. But I was like on the right side there's two lanes. I was on the right side. I was turning right. So I put my blinker on to turn right into like a shopping or whatever it was. And there's a car behind me and he has to, I don't know, he pissed off. He honked his horn and he went around me and like flipped me off. And in my head, I'm like, well, I did everything right.
Yeah.
I was in the correct lane.
Yeah. You
put your blinker on. I put my blinker on and I turned in.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so it was just an inconvenience to you because you had to go into the other lane to go around me, or you could have just like stopped, slowed down. And when I turned, you kept going.
Yeah.
But yeah, he flipped me off and I was like, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because then in my head, I'm like, No, I was I'm in the right lane. I didn't like turn from the left lane over in front of you.
Or cut him off to make a quick turn because you made a mistake and didn't get over soon enough. I was
already in there. Like I was already in front of you. I had my blinker on. I was like, oh, it's interesting. Mm-hmm. I had another lady do that to me recently in Florida. She was swerving in my lane back and forth. So I honked at her because I was like, whoa, you keep doing it. Like, don't hit me. And at that point, I had made my way like close to her, like side by side, and she had swerved. And so I honked. Mm-hmm. And as I drove by, she flipped me off. And I went, that's so interesting.
Florida drivers, from my understanding, are pretty road ragey.
It was wild to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, interesting how that was. I was just letting you know, like, don't hit me, please. Like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Or stop swerving. I don't know what you were doing.
Get off your phone.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I was like, all right, well. So maybe that is it's like what you said. I'm someone else's pet peeve.
You're the pet peeve.
Yeah, I'm the problem. I'm like, okay, well.
It sounds to me like everything.
So I gave her a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then she flipped me back off.
Oh, nice.
And then I went.
Lovely Florida lady.
It was great. I was like, I hope you have a blessed day. Like, I hope your day turns around. Because to me, something's going on.
Something's wrong. Yeah. I just say, I hope you have the day you deserve.
Yeah.
Well, which maybe you deserve a good day and maybe you don't. But just have the one that you deserve.
I feel like if we had the day all of us deserve, it probably would be that great. People are very sinful. We're very not good humans. Humans just naturally are not great.
Yeah, unfortunately. And those little interactions, most of the people, I like to think most people are inherently good, but there's some people I feel like are just out there to just have as many negative interactions as possible.
Sadly, I don't even think some people realize it.
Exactly. Like their attitude is like so jaded towards everyone. So instead of like giving people grace, they're already on like the defense no matter what the scenario is.
Like everything's like personal, even though it has nothing to do with you. Yeah. That's what my mom always said. She's like, sorry about it, but like not everything, like everything's not about you.
Yeah.
Like believe it or not, like things like people aren't even thinking about you when you're worried about things. And I've had people say that. It's like in moments of like when you feel insecure, you're like worried about things. And it's like, it's a really easy reminder to think like, I guarantee you these people you're walking by are not even worried about you. They're worried about themselves and probably how they look or how they're doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's
and
kind
it's
of
not
a concept.
Like this kind of sounds negative, and I don't mean it to sound negative or harsh, but you're not important enough for people to care about that much.
Yeah.
So it's like a relief. You can take that pressure off of yourself because you're not that important to 99% of the people you're interacting with during the day, other than your immediate family.
And they are the ones that don't care.
Yeah, usually, exactly. They're the ones that are happy to be around you because you're just who you are.
Yep.
So the other people, you're not important enough for anyone to have any issues with.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. That was kind of like how I've heard it as like it's like a positive thing, not to be negative. Because if you think about it yourself, when I'm out and about, I'm not worried about people. Or even if I like look at people and see something that they did or whatever, I might think about it in that moment. But I don't go home and like lose sleep on it or think about, oh, did you see that girl's shirt? And think about it forever. And most of the time, it's probably a positive thought. They just think it might be negative.
Right.
So it's like nobody's thinking about you in that much. Nobody, like you said, nobody cares. Yeah. They have their other things to worry about. Yeah. They're trying to make it through their day with their family, with their job, with them. Like they are going through their own worries in their own head. They don't have time to
think twice about you. Yeah. And it should be a relief.
Yeah.
To most like, people to realize like, oh, I am not that important. Cool.
Like, I don't have to worry about those things when I go. Yeah. I can do what I want.
Okay. So we're just going to go through this list that we kind of put together. So this topic is social etiquette. Loud chewing or slurping. Can't stand it.
Yeah. I mean, it would be annoying if it was like over and over again. I think I'm a loud eater. Ryan always tells me all the time. But
I haven't noticed anything.
I don't chew with my mouth open or anything. So it always makes me laugh because I'm like, I don't know what more to do.
Yeah.
But I do know, like, sometimes when I'm, like, sick, I do. Because just, like, you can't breathe through your nose.
Yeah, you can't breathe through your nose. That's a different scenario. Yeah, you're just trying to get through it.
Breathe. But, yeah, I mean, that would bother me if someone's like, sorry, people. Yeah. Like, constantly, like.
I hate, like, the ASMR. People, have you seen that on
TikTok?
I
don't get it.
I can't, that intense sound. if I'm scrolling through TikTok and it comes up on the live, because they'll have the people that talk into the microphone and do that, like the sound of the whispering.
We should do a podcast like that.
Oh, I can't. I'm getting like
microphone.
I can't.
I was just gonna rage on me. I don't get the point of it. That's my thing.
Some people, it like calms them down. It irritates me to no end. I can't stand it.
It's supposed to be calming?
It's supposed to be like relaxing, and they make these weird sounds with their mouth, and I can't do it. And my cousin Ivy has like, she's probably more intense than me with like mouth sounds.
Oh, okay.
She'll just straight up leave the room.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
So,
yeah, you do what you got to do, you know?
And then this one, interrupting during conversations.
That's a hard one. Sorry. As
I
interrupt you.
I don't mind if you're like involved in the conversation. What I don't like is like a lot of times we'll be all together with like my family and then I'll be talking to my mom and like someone in my family will be like, oh, hey. And like and I'll be like, excuse me, we're still talking. Yeah. Just a second. Because they feel like what they have to say is more important right now versus we're having a conversation. You're welcome to join in and add to the conversation. But 9 times out of 10, what someone else is like interjecting into it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. They've just decided that what they need to say can't wait. And I understand that. So I could see like, hey, when you're done talking, remind me to tell you about this. Yeah. But instead of just like yelling and like thinking what you need to say is important. Can't stand that. So I always say like, oh, I'm sorry. Did the middle of my sentence interrupt the start of yours?
So funny. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I don't mind like when we're having conversations, and it's hard when there's like a lot of us, like if our whole family's around, and then like something comes to your head and you try to like, you know, and everyone's kind of partaking. That can kind of be chaotic, and then everyone's trying to talk louder than the other. Yeah. But that doesn't really bother me. But yeah, if I'm having like a one-on-one and someone just like jumps in, it's kind of like, I mean, I know you heard us.
Yeah, I know you have eyes. So.
Or there's like a way to be like you said, hey, just remind me of something to say. Sorry to interrupt or whatever.
Because I get not wanting to forget what you want to say.
Yeah, because I do that
totally
all the time.
Get that.
And that's a lot of the reason why I interrupt.
Yeah. But like your intention is not this like what I have to say is more important than what you're saying right now.
Yeah. It's more if I get triggered a thought, I'm like, oh. And then, but if I like am like you, if I'm having a conversation like that and someone like thinks of something to the point that I'm saying, I don't mind, because then it's like you're kind of just chiming in and you're bouncing off of each other. That doesn't bother me.
Right. Exactly.
I get what you're saying with that.
Being ignored, especially when texting / calling.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care that much, because I know for me, like if I don't text someone back immediately, I forget. So I try my best to be as like responsive as possible. But I also think that it's rude on your end to think that the person you're texting deserves your attention, or like you deserve their attention in that moment all the time. I don't have a problem with texting and not hearing back from someone for a couple of hours, because what's going on in their real life in that moment is significantly more than my text to them. Yeah. So that one doesn't really bug me too much. I don't like if I'm like needing to get a hold of someone and they're not responding to me. And it's like, I know you have your phone. I know you see it. So just do me the courtesy of like a quick response. Yeah. So there's different scenarios, but mostly not super bugged by that.
Yeah. I think I'm the same way. I don't really, you answer me, you won't. If it's like an important question and I ask it and then I don't get an answer for a while and I'm kind of like, oh, I need to know this answer. Or that person was knowingly expecting like something from me and didn't. I think, or like in a professional sense, like in a job or something where it's like, I need this answer. That I don't like, because it's like, like, what are we doing here? But if I'm just like texting someone and don't reply, it's like, all right, you will or you won't, I guess. And if it comes to the point where I need an answer, I can be a little bit more like nice about it. If it's something I'm trying to get answers for and I need to know within the next like day or so, I could be like, hey, just touching base. Sorry to bother, you know, there's a way to go about it. Yeah. But it's not like me being mad. It's just like maybe a reminder, knowing life gets busy. It's just me being like, checking in. Yeah. I need to know
just
whatever.
Just a gentle reminder of, hey.
And that's fine too, because a lot of the times people probably didn't answer that question or whatever because they forgot or something just came in. And it's so easy to forget when you have like jobs, kids, and everything going on.
Real things going on.
Yeah.
Yep. Talking with a mouthful of food. I feel like obviously that's just gross.
I don't know if I care.
So don't do it.
I don't know if I care. If I'm like talking to a friend, their mouth is full and they want to, I don't care.
There's certain people where I'm like, oh, can you not?
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's just,
Like little kids. I mean, it really grosses me out when my kids try to talk to me with food in their mouth.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to, but if someone does, or I'm like, hold on, like, wait a second.
Yeah, but you do like a quick, like, just a second kind of thing. But
or if I just have like a little bit in my mouth and I'm like finishing up, I don't really care.
But with little kids, it's my job to teach them, like, hey, just slow down, finish your food. Then I would love to hear from you.
And that's fair.
So that's my teaching them. That's not an acceptable, that's not a desirable behavior.
Yeah, no.
So we're going to work on that here so that when you're out in public with your friends or someone doesn't say, ew, that's so gross the way you're eating. Because kids will do that.
Yeah.
If you don't address those things in the home, someone else is going to say it in front of a bunch of other people and make your kid feel real dumb.
Yeah.
So it's not mean. It's just, hey, just
it's not.
Sit tight, handle what's going on, and then I'd love to talk to you when your mouth is clean.
Yeah, it's definitely not a trait you should like develop. Like it's not needed.
It's not desirable.
So. It's like, let's not do the whole white chick saying that scene where he just like shoving it. He's like, and all that's coming out.
Eating dinner.
That's the best.
Oh, I love that movie. Fun fact, I delivered little Heston while that movie was on.
Oh, that's funny. It's a good one.
It distracted me through the labor pains, and my dad was like in the room. And he's like, grabs the remote. I'm going to change the channel.
No,
my grandson's not being born to white chicks.
Like,
and I was like, don't touch it.
This is a classic.
It is.
We watch it like often.
It's so funny.
It's
just
so
a quick light.
Yeah.
Let's watch that tonight.
Okay,
so
yes.
When we don't know what to watch, we can put that on.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
That whole scene, does actually gross me out. But it's okay because it's like, I know that's the goal.
Yeah.
Like,
the intention is
the tone and stuff, and I'm like, but I'm like, that's what you're going for, to be so extreme. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
which
it has the opposite effect, which makes it even funnier.
So bad.
Yeah,
but that's what I thought of when like talking with the food. When she's like, and he just spits it like out. And he just like looks at me, just keeps shoving like the sauerkraut and fries in his mouth.
Yeah, I'm just laughing.
Like, wow.
Okay, this one's funny. Sorry, it's the last one, but not saying please or thank you, which I think that's just a normal thing that you should do. Yeah.
That's actually a really big pet peeve.
Yeah, I know for you that you don't like that at all.
It's not good for me. And I try not to be, but I am. And I'm very big. And I think this is just like probably like, well, no, my mom raised me like this, but us being in Texas, it's a big thing. I'm very big on sir and ma'am. And so like please and thank you, like, all that stuff is like so like when Kenyon and Hannah and Kenyon growing up were good because Caitlin were like that and they still are. But I was like that with like my athletes. Like I always said yes sir, yes ma'am to them. And so I always wanted them to respond that way back to me and not just be like, yeah. You know, I'm always like, no, that's not how you don't respond to someone like that. Even if, and like one of our head coaches named Emilio, he said that he's like, I'm more of just like, I need like a yes. Like if I say something to you, it's not like, yeah. Like, no, respond to me like politely, like we're having a conversation. I don't want those. So that's kind of like, I think that's kind of cool that he does that. Ryan always has too. But I don't know. It's just something to me. It's a very just like respectful thing. Like even if you don't agree, we're not agreeing. It's just like, yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. Like, please, thank you. Like when I hold the door open for someone and I just walk in, I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why. I'm like, cause how hard is it to say thank you? And I'm not
just acknowledge
doing it for the thank you.
Right.
I'm doing it because I'm not going to be rude and I'm going to hold the door for you. I'm not going to let it slam in your face. But how hard is it to just look at someone and say thank you? And not just think you're owed that door open. I don't know, just really, because it's so simple, I think. Yeah. It's such a simple thing to do and to say please. Like, it's so easy.
Yeah, I agree.
When you're asking someone to do something for you, like a waitress or what, it's just so easy. So when you don't, I'm like, why? Like, just say one more word. Will you give me my Coke, please? Yeah. You know, I don't know. Those were probably one of my biggest.
Yeah, I could see you getting really fired up over that.
The little manners. I can see you getting fired up over that. I have held the door open for someone and they walked by me and I looked at them and said, you're welcome. Yeah. I've done that before. I think that's fine. It's a little petty, but.
Yeah. But you could also say, if they said like, I didn't say thank you, you could be like, oh, I just assumed you would have.
I'm sorry. I thought I heard you. That makes sense that you would.
Yeah. That's a natural. My response was natural to what you would have said.
Yeah. Sorry. Habit. I said, you're welcome.
It's a habit because I usually hold the door for polite people.
Get thank yous.
Yeah.
I try not to be petty like that, but sometimes it comes out. I'm like, oh. And I just need to be like, it doesn't matter. I'm not doing it for that.
Nothing wrong with that. I was thinking about something. I was going to see if that was on the list. I've forgotten it. Shoot.
One goes with this social etiquette I can talk on too. That's probably, it's up there. And Ryan will vouch for it. After we do this last one, I can bring it up. People don't cover their mouth when coughing and sneezing. Hate it. Literally
especially
hate
sneezing.
It. I had an adult. She was an adult woman sitting across from me at the airport yesterday. She was knitting. And every so often she'd cough and she wouldn't cover. And I'm like, okay, once. You didn't do it. Like, you couldn't get to it in time. You were knitting, whatever. Over and over and over.
It's intentional at that point.
She covered her mouth maybe once or twice out of like the 30 times she coughed when I was there. And I was like, and it sounded like, to me, it wouldn't sound like a sick cough. It was like allergies. Like, I get it.
Sure.
But I'm like, cover your mouth. Mm-hmm. There's so many people around. That's gross.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. And literally, when we stood up, we got in the same group, like when they call it. And in my head, I prayed, please don't let her sit by me in the plane because I will freak out if I'm next to her coughing and she's just not covering her mouth. Mm-hmm. It's so gross. Like, I get sometimes because Ryan laughs at me. There's times I'll be doing something and like a sneeze or something will come up and I won't. And he's like, you just like coughed in my face. And I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I was putting like my shirt on, my head popped through and it like, whatever it was. Like, I'm like, I hadn't had my hands ready. So there's times I get it, but that was intentional. You just weren't covering your mouth.
Yeah. And the sneezing one, I can't stand it. Like, just.
Yeah. I also don't like this.
I don't like that either. It's
unless
gross.
I guess you go wash your hands or.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes that's like quick or whatever, but you have to do something. Because then you're putting the germs on your hands. And I'm a germy person.
Germophobic
I would like to say
person.
I'm working on it, but I don't think I am.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I think if it's like preventing you from doing things, then you have an issue. What is it preventing you from doing?
There's some things I think it's gotten in the way.
Okay. Do tell.
Well, so there's that. I don't know if some of them are like got in the way of, but it has decided certain things for me. Mm-hmm. Like, I just have some weird germy things. And I used to not be like this. I don't know. Like, as a kid, it's like, eat it off the floor. And if a kid drops it on the floor, I'm like, eat it.
Yeah.
Like, I like, no, but in my head, I'm also like, I don't think I would eat it. Why am I telling you to eat it? Because I know it's like not a big deal. Like, you dropped it on the floor for like 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. Like when Hessen dropped it on the floor, and you picked it up, whatever. But like, I don't know if I would have done it.
I wouldn't do it either. But I think it's because of age and experience. We see things that, because I used to not care about stuff like that when I was little, like washing hands all the time didn't bug me. But now, like with my kids, as soon as they get home from school or any activity, wash your hands, wash your face, sometimes change your clothes because I don't know where, like whatever you've been doing can't be good.
Yeah.
You know, yes, you are having a bath tonight or a shower because you went to a slide place.
Yeah.
You know, and kids just don't think about stuff like that.
Which is, I mean, fine.
I agree. But the sneezing one, I'm not going to name any names here, but this person knows who they are.
Are you talking to me?
No,
just call me out. Like, do I do that?
Sneezing out into a space, even though nobody's there, your sneeze still gets places. It still goes around. It's not okay. It still gets on the floor. It still gets on the counters.
It's still going out.
It still is a spray. I don't care if no one's in that direction. I don't care if you're by yourself. You should still cover the sneeze, no matter what the scenario is.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
I love that. I hope that person does know. Just because I'm curious now if that person really will know. I'm sure assuming you've vocalized it to that person and that person knows.
It's gotten better. I will say that.
So my sister will make fun of me because I'm the way I am. And like Hannah kind of does now too. And so we went to London. So it was when me, Hannah, and Caitlin went. And we were on the plane and I feel like I was sitting by myself, like next to them too. And I was drinking whatever I was drinking. And my lid fell on my hand and I went to catch it. I almost caught it and it hit the floor. And I just like stopped and looked at it. And I looked at Caitlin and she was like, well, here, and picked it up and gave it to me. And I said, no, don't put it back on, because if you put it back on, I won't drink out of it. And she goes, seriously? I go, yeah. She goes, nothing happened to the lid. Like it's, and I go, well, let me take a sip real quick and I'm just going to be done with it. Mm-hmm. So I took a sip of it and then I gave the rest to them because they were going to drink it. And she was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I can't do it. And then, so something like that,
But I think that's fair because all of the people's shoes have been on the floor in the airport.
But it was like a lid, so nothing like.
But still, I get it. I think that's reasonable. Yeah. I probably wouldn't care, but I could also see where you're coming from.
Like most people wouldn't care to the point to where it wouldn't have made you not finish the drink. Like it did me. Like I'm like, I won't drink it. Like I will.
If you put the lid back on it?
I wouldn't have drank it. So I drank what I wanted before I put the lid back on and gave it to them. Yeah.
Why didn't you just finish the drink without the lid on?
Because there was a lot more. And I didn't want it to be, because we were getting on the plane and I didn't want it to be like open while we were taking off and stuff. And so it was like a bottle, like a water bottle, Coke bottle. So I didn't want it to like fall or whatever. I think that's fair.
You have no idea what's going to transfer.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were fine. They didn't get sick.
That's good.
And I make Ryan and me, I don't make, like, it's not just him. Like, we shower before we get in bed. We don't get into bed with our day on us.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah. So, like, if he gets really tired, sometimes he falls asleep on the couch because he didn't want to get up to shower to get into bed. And I'm like, well,
that's funny.
I think it is so gross to me. Like, do not get on the bed with your day clothes.
With your day clothes. We always change clothes before we get into bed.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I still can't do that. But that's good.
Yeah. It's better. Like sometimes if I'm wearing like sandals and I'm out, I'll like hop in the bath and wash my feet off and stuff. And I'm trying to be better about not having shoes like on that rug that we got. Because I like to wear shoes in my house and I wear like sandals that I don't wear out hardly anywhere.
Yeah. Around
my house. But I'm trying to make my kids like, nope, shoes go in your room. Don't bring your nastiness into here.
Yeah, I don't. And Ryan he won't go. We don't go into our bedroom with our tennis shoes on.
Oh, I like that. That's nice.
Carpet area. Yeah. Like I'll take them off, or he'll take them off, like walk in if he has them on and like slide them back on. So usually just like around, the hardwood floor. Yeah. So like any carpet, I don't really like shoes on.
Yeah.
Because like hardwood flooring is like, it's easy to sweep up. I feel like with carpet, it just like things just like you vacuum it, but it's not getting like cleaned unless you like do like an actual like cleaner on your carpet, which I'm like, people don't do that daily. Like you're not doing that often. Yeah. It's a pain in the butt. So I'm like, the carpets just like really trap stuff.
I agree.
I definitely have some weird like clean things that Ryan probably doesn't appreciate.
That's all right. I don't think anything's wrong with that.
Thanks.
If it makes you feel cleaner, it makes you feel safer, as long as it's not like controlling your life to the point where you can't leave your house.
Yeah, no, I'm not that
Then
crazy.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Okay, driving and public behavior. Obviously, tailgating and cutting people off.
Yeah.
Don't do that kind of stuff. And I hate like Heston will honk at a lot of people. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Because I like tell a story. Well, you don't know what that person's going through. You don't know if they're on their way to go and do something important. Like just hang back. It's not your job to teach someone a lesson.
Yeah.
So when I'm with Heston, I tell him, unless we're going to get hit by a car, you're not honking when I'm in the car. Because all of the experiences that we've had, it's turned into an issue with the other person. And so I have like made it very clear, either you stop honking when I'm in the car, whatever you want to do on your own driving time, that's fine. When I'm in the car and our children are in the car, you're not honking unless we're going to die.
Yeah.
Like that's how serious I am about it, because it drives me insane. Yeah. So like if we have issues with someone who's tailgating us or cutting us off, we will pull over and sit for 10 minutes and then get back on the road, because I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that person's level is. Yeah. They may not care. They may go, I'm going to have so much fun messing with this family. No.
Yeah.
So
I'll honk if someone's like I said earlier, like getting in my lane, and I'm like, hey, like I'm over here, because I'm like, either you can't see me or you're not paying attention to like, or like if we're sitting at a light, like I'll do a honk to be like, hey, like the light's green,
like a friendly.
But I'm
get
not
going.
like like I usually just go like do like one honk just to like, because obviously they're not looking, they're doing something, but I usually will do that to like let them know. But other than that, I usually don't honk.
I think all of Heston's family are honkers, because one time my mother-in-law drove me and little Heston to the airport. So we're like coming into the airport and at Sky Harbor. So there's those 2 lanes, and most airports are the same. There's the 2 lanes. People are getting out of the car. They're saying bye to their loved ones. They're going out. My mother-in-law honks at people saying bye. And I'm in the front seat, like sinking down. And they're staring at her, and she's yelling, you should have already said goodbye to each other. You should have already said goodbye. And she honked at them multiple times while they're like hugging and saying goodbye. And I like got out of the car, like right next to them. That's uncomfortable. And I'm like, that's my mother-in-law. I'm so sorry. And they were like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, that was so not okay. And I'm mortified. And I text Heston, I am never driving to the airport with your mom again.
That's so funny.
But like, who does that?
I do get road rage, so I do get irritated with drivers, but I usually just like yell at them like they can't hear me.
Yeah.
But I don't usually honk at them, because I know in my head, I'm like, that's not going to do anything. The only time I do is if I think it's going to like keep you from going or whatever. I'm not going to just be like honk to not change anything.
To teach you a lesson.
Yeah. But I get road rage. I yell. I get so mad.
I keep it calm.
Fun.
I used to get like really worked up, but now I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'll stop for 10 minutes, let this person go, do whatever they want to do, and then I'll get back out there.
You're so stupid.
But like, use your turn signal.
Yeah, I hate when people don't.
Just
because that's dangerous.
Kind. It is dangerous. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to have someone like hit you or not know or can't brake in time because you can't tell me.
Yeah.
Or if you're waiting at a stoplight and you're waiting for cars and the car turns and doesn't, like yesterday, they don't put their blinker on, they turn, you're like, oh, thanks. If I could have gone.
I could have gone. Yeah. Just be kind. Have good etiquette. Ooh, people who talk loudly on their phones in public.
Yeah. Or they have them on like speakerphone.
Yeah, or speakerphone. Like, or if they're like watching a video. And it's full volume. Like one time we were at a restaurant and this lady was eating alone and she had her phone up probably 100% just playing this video. And I'm looking at her like
not everybody wants to watch
pick up on how inappropriate this is and how inconsiderate it is to the people around you.
Yeah.
So I think that just kind of goes without saying. Yeah. Just you're out in public. You can do that at home if you want. Yeah. Full volume 24/7. It was wild.
Those are the things that it's like, what's going on in your head that you think that that's okay?
Yeah. Huh. So that's where it's going to be interesting in the future with these kids who have grown up like having iPads everywhere with them. Are they going to think that that's fine?
That I just have it loud and out and open?
Yeah.
But most times, like I've seen, I say most times, some haven't, but seen kids out and about with it, like at restaurants or whatever. They usually have like, I've seen like headphones and stuff, or they're playing like a game to where it's not like loud.
Yeah, it's not loud.
Because I'm like, that wouldn't be okay. Like to just be
full volume, no headphones. And I was like kind of looking at her like, do you not realize you don't have headphones on?
Or do you have headphones? Does she have like headphones in?
No, that's what I was trying to look and see. Like, does she think they're connected? Nope, just full volume, staring at her phone, eating her Chick-fil-A. I think, or we were in and out, eating her in and out, and I was just
interesting. Yeah, that is weird to me.
Thought that was strange. Blocking grocery store aisles with carts. That just goes along with like social awareness, like being aware of who's around you. And I feel like as a parent, it's my job with my kids to teach the social awareness. So like when I take my kids shopping or whenever I go somewhere, my kids are 9 times out of 10 with me unless I have an appointment where I can't bring my kids. But we'll go to Costco quite like a lot, and my kids don't have phones or iPads in public. That's just a personal choice that we've made. I shouldn't even say in public. They don't have phones or iPads at home. Yeah. The only time they get an iPad is if we're going on a road trip or any kind of trip that's 2 hours or longer. That's it. So we'll be out in Costco, and my kids are learning So someone's walking this way, and then little Heston walks right in front of them to go get something. And so I take that opportunity like, hey, you've got to look at who's coming towards you because you just walked right in front of this person.
Yeah.
So that's my job, to teach the awareness, go around them or wait for them to come past you. You got to pay attention to everything that's going on around you so that you don't accidentally get hit by a cart or like, it's just teaching you social awareness.
Yeah.
So I think that's obviously a parent's job. I don't know. There's some people I've interacted with where I'm like, nobody helped you.
Yeah. Or you just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Or you don't care. But I also think like if you don't teach your kids those proper behaviors in public, somebody else is going to teach them, and it's not going to be kind. Nice, like that situation Heston had the other day with that kid. This was wild to me. Crazy. So I'm of the opinion and the belief that until your kids reach a certain age, you as a parent are 100% accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
Whether that's at home, how they treat you, how they treat their siblings, out in public, how they treat people who are around them. So just set the scene. Heston goes to the gym in Queen Creek here, and he's at the gym in the like Queen Creek marketplace, high traffic area, lots and lots. You've seen it. There's lots of people there, all the time. So he's sitting in his car. He's like doing something on his phone, waiting to go in the gym. This lady's walking with her 2 young kids, like 10 feet ahead of like her little kids in a parking lot. So right off the bat, I wouldn't do that as a mom, especially not in the Queen Creek marketplace. And the little girl is trying to say something to her mom. She doesn't hear her. So she turns around and kicks Heston's car. Heston gets out of the car and he says, excuse me, your daughter just kicked my car. So the mom, instead of saying, oh, I'm so sorry, that shouldn't have happened, like, I'm so sorry, that's not okay, turns around, so she's a kid. And Heston's like, yeah, but she still kicked my car. And then the lady turns it into like, oh, is your ego hurt that you're so worried about your car rather than hurting a little girl's feelings? And Heston's like, I'm not worried about hurting her feelings. She kicked my car. Yeah. That's not okay. And then she goes into like, you probably don't even have kids, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I have 3 kids actually. And then she starts going crazy. I'm going to call my husband for the way that you're talking to me and blah, blah, blah. And starts taking pictures of Heston's car. And he's like, okay, whatever. And just gets back in his car until she goes inside. And then he went inside later. But to me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I just don't get how you like, to me in that scenario, you would think you would just be like, I'm so sorry. Like my daughter did that. And that's just like you said, it's a teaching moment for your daughter.
Yeah.
To like learn, like you said she was a kid. Yeah. Whether that was right or wrong, she's a kid, she's learning, but that was like a learning moment.
Yeah. What she did is wrong. No, there's no way to justify kicking a stranger's car.
Yeah.
At all.
Like simple things. Like it didn't cause any harm, but you don't do that.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of things that might not be a big deal or cause harm, but you don't do it.
Yeah. Especially like if the owner of the car gets out and goes, excuse me, your kid just kicked my car.
And a like kid's kick to a car could have been bad. Like
right.
If you depending on where you kicked it or how hard you kicked it.
And I think she was more upset because she got called out.
Yeah.
On that situation. And so that probably immediately set her on the defense. Yeah. And the wrong thing to say is, so she's just a kid. Oh, okay. So if we're playing at the playground and your kid punches my kid in the face, it's all good because they're a kid? Yeah. No, it's still not okay.
Yeah.
So that's just me. I don't know.
You're like, what do I know? I don't know.
What do I know? I only have 3 kids who have never kicked somebody's car in a parking lot, but
yet. They might.
And if they did,
you would tell them
that would be the first and the last time.
You would tell them not to. That's so funny.
Exactly. So that was a weird situation for Heston. People who stand too close in lines, I don't really ever come across this.
I mean,
I don't think it's a thing.
I've had times where like just in general people like I told Ryan this at one of the meets. This happened in the meets in Florida. So we were watching like awards and it was like in this big room and there was like seats people could sit, but then there was some like people were just standing. And so it was like, it was just like a huge room. So there was like multiple like awards and they were kind of like 4 of them and they were kind of in a circle or a square facing out. And so it was a big room or whatever. I was standing off to the back. So I was standing by myself. Ryan was up with his boys and I'm not even being dramatic. There was nobody around me, in front of me, beside me, behind me for like a lot of feet.
Mm-hmm.
You could have fit lots of people in between me. So I wasn't in a crowd. This grown man literally walks right in front of me. And I stepped back. I had to step back out of his way.
Yeah.
Because he was so close to me. And I literally looked around and I was like,
make sure you're keeping the mic.
Oh, sorry. I was literally looking around thinking, did anybody else see that?
Yeah.
And is there somebody close to me? Like, why were you walking so close to me? Nobody was around me. And I just followed him and just like watched him like, what just happened?
Yeah, that's
like
so
I had
weird.
to step out of back up because you were walked so close to me, just right in front of me. I was like, it's just so strange
so
to me. I'm
weird.
like, can you see?
Yeah.
I literally looked around. He was sitting. I was like, did you see that? He goes, I was like, that dude just like. So I've had moments like that where people do, and I'm like, I know I'm not in your way.
Yeah.
And I was planted, like I was standing there, so it wasn't like I was moving
You were
around.
established in that spot.
Like, so when you came from way over there, I hadn't changed where it was at. Like,
That's so
it wasn't
funny.
like I was like, oh, where'd you come from? Like I was already there. I did not move. So I was like, what? How? Like,
Yeah.
That's the awareness just blows my mind sometimes. And like you were a grown man. It wasn't like a little kid just kind of wandering around and, you know, not paying attention because they were playing or running, which is whatever. I'm like, you're a grown man. Just
so weird.
close. And I had people stand in line like right behind me. And I had done that where I've turned around and looked at them and been like, are we doing this? Like, do you not feel like you're too close?
Yeah, you have to feel uncomfortable. I've had like situations where people will touch my kids. Like, and one time we were at Costco and Liv was like standing there and this older gentleman was talking to her, which is fine. And I was right there. And then he like reached out to like touch her hair. And she was like this, backing up. And I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. And he was like, oh, sorry. And I'm sure his intention was kind, but I could tell it was making my daughter uncomfortable. So it's like, it's okay.
But you would think he would have got if a kid goes like, then you don't.
Yeah.
You're not like, I'm going to continue.
Yeah. And like, I just think it's kind of with little kids, like just don't touch little kids in public. And even with Roan, like I don't like when people, not that it's ever happened, but there've been a couple times where I'm like, oh no, we don't touch the baby or something because people are gross and I don't know where your hands have been. And I don't mind like a foot, like, oh, like touching his foot if he's sitting in the cart. But there was like one time and I think Ross and this lady kept like, I'm holding Roan and she kept touching him and like touching his face. And I'm like, I know he's so cute, but can you not touch him? Yeah. Like he just like everyone's so sick. You just never know. And she's like, oh, you're right. And I didn't do it mean. Yeah. You know? So I just think that that's interesting that's still like, they're still little humans. They still get to choose who gets to show affection towards them.
Which is funny because I love my mom dearly. But she doesn't have, I sometimes don't think with the babies and stuff. And it's fine. I get your intentions because you love the babies and they're adorable. But I'm like, not everybody wants you talking to their baby and you know, whatever. So it's funny because I'm like, Mom, sometimes you gotta read the room. Yeah. Like you can't just go and like touch their little hands and stuff. I know you want to because they're freaking adorable, but you can't do that. Yeah. And she's like, I don't get. I'm like, well, yeah, you don't get it because your intentions are fine, but they don't know that. That might make them feel uncomfortable, and it's not your baby.
It's not your baby.
You don't even know the lady's baby. Like it's not like one of our babies
not your friend.
Or something like. And so it's funny because I'm like, I get where you're coming from, but like you still have to be aware that that might not be okay to them, and you have to respect that. It's not anything against you. It's not personal. It's like you said. It's like,
I don't mind the like talking to my kids. I just don't mind. I don't like the touching because I've always taught my kids like, you don't have to hug anyone you don't want to. Because when we have family members leave, like, okay, they're leaving. Do you want to give them a hug? Do you want to give them a high five or nothing? Yeah. And sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it's like a genuine hug. They're excited. And sometimes it's a high five. So
you're like, I don't know.
So they know that people don't get to touch them unless
they can decide what they want to do.
Exactly. So I just try to like advocate for my kids in public. And I'm probably a little bit too intense about it. But whatever.
No, you're not too intense. I mean, like you said, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But you are intense.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. It's your
if I'm going to be intense for anyone, it's going to be intense for my kids.
And that's fine. Mm-hmm. That all tracks and makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Workplace communication. I've really probably never had a super serious job. Yeah. All of the jobs that I've had have been like working from home, doing extra things for my friends. But I think this just goes with like, in general, being late without notice.
Yeah,
like,
that's annoying.
If you're running late, just let me know. I'm an on-time person. It's very, very rare that I'm late. Mm-hmm. But there are people that I hang out with where I'm like, it's okay. I know they're going to be 10 to 15 minutes late, and that doesn't bug me. But if like it's out of character for you, just let me know. Yeah. It's all good. Yeah. Doesn't bug me. Just let me know. Yeah. Taking credit for someone else's work, I'm sure that doesn't make irritating. Sense. That would be irritating.
I never dealt with that. Because most of my places, I was the only X-ray tech, so it's like I either was the one messing up or not.
Yeah, and you can't really take credit for like that flawless X-ray.
Yeah, it's like, well, I took it, so it's like there's nobody else there to be like, oh, I did that one. There's no other tech that I had to worry about being like, oh, I did that one. Yeah, I mean, and you can take flawless X-rays.
No, I'm sure you can, but I'm saying like
there are some that are somebody just beautiful and perfect,
but no one else could say like, oh, I took that X-ray because like very clearly that was Chandler.
Yeah, the X-ray tech, like that's the only one on site.
Exactly.
Like, if there was another one, I guess they could. But I never had that experience where they were like,
but I'm sure there are like workplace scenarios where you're like discussing an idea with someone and then the person you're talking to takes that idea and just completely runs with it and takes credit for that idea. Yeah.
And we literally had our initials on x-rays. Like we had like your markers have your initials. So they couldn't be like, oh, yeah, you took it. Like, no, literally
you would just get fired
CT because on it. That's Chandler Turney. So sorry.
That's funny. Overusing buzzwords or corporate jargon.
I never experienced that. I could see where that would be annoying. Like, just stop trying so hard.
Yeah, if you're in like that corporate world.
Buzzwords, just stop it.
I do agree with the sending emails. That could have been a quick conversation.
It's like you don't
need to call me, just shoot me a text.
Yeah. Or whether like that meeting could have been an email. Yeah. That happens a lot. Yeah. I'm like, just let me know. Mm-hmm. I'm like, unless it's like really important or making big changes, I'm like, just shoot me an email or text. Yeah.
This one's funny because I could relate it to being a mom. Coworkers who never refill the coffee pot, not necessarily that one, or clean up after themselves.
Just like don't.
None of my coworkers clean up after themselves.
Those little rascals.
Like last night, you're in my kitchen. Can anyone shut a drawer or a cupboard in this house?
I knew who it was.
We all know who it is. Heston. Big Heston.
Yeah. I literally got up and was like, why are these drawers open? You took a spoon. Just push it back.
I know. It drives me nuts. But that's how he's always been. Even his mom, he'll like go in his own, like his parents' house, and he'll be in there doing something, and then his mom will come in and go, oh, Heston's been in here. Yeah. And I just joke with her like, oh, so this is your fault.
Yeah. So things just like Ryan's like that with leaving. He leaves things places. Mm-hmm. Just like leaves them around, or when he goes to shower or whatever. Like still to this day, my mom will text me like a couple days after like we've been there. She goes, well, I found a pair of underwear and some socks and a belt of Ryan's. I'll just smell it.
You're like, how?
And I'm like, what? You just like take it off and just leave it where it's at.
Is he the youngest?
Yes.
Okay. That's a youngest child thing.
I don't do that.
You're a freak of nature, so you don't count.
I'm like, I don't just leave things.
But Heston, and maybe it's the youngest boy thing.
Maybe it's the
because
boy.
Because Heston will leave things places. Yeah. Big Heston will leave things places constantly. Yeah. He's getting better, but like I remember reading something about like birth order and how that relates to being an adult. Yeah. And it was like youngest child leaves things places. That's also my brother Cody. Mm-hmm. He leaves every time he's at my house. He leaves his water bottle, his hat, or his sunglasses. Yeah. Like critical things that are left behind without fail every single time. Yeah. He still like, and he'll leave like, I love you. He will leave like money, a wallet, just lying around the gym. And he's done this since we started dating. Yeah. Like in Tega. He would like just leave his wallet like on the pommel horse. Yeah, you're like, you're too trusting, dude. I'm like, bro. And so I sometimes would take it and let him freak out about it. Mm-hmm. And he always like, oh, you know, literally recently, I went out to the gym. It was like perfect time. I just happened to be like walking out to the gym. Someone goes, whose wad of money is this? And he had taken out his pocket to do something. It was like hundreds of dollars. Oh my gosh. On the tumble track. And I go, I think I know whose it is. Yeah. I literally walked up to him and was all, bro. Yeah.
Like,
You're joking.
There's so many kids running around this gym. You know how much I'm going to just snag that up?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah. You can't just leave that.
Yeah.
Give it to someone or give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Or don't carry around that money in your
don't
pocket.
leave it with you if you can't handle it. Yeah.
Why was that in your pocket?
I think it's like, obviously that's annoying, but you're looking at it going, this is a 100% preventable situation. Oh, yeah. That's what gets me when it's 100% preventable and that situation is created by human error.
Also, it makes me laugh because I'm like, we did this at Tega 12 years ago when we first started dating. And it's like,
obviously not much has changed.
We're still having a conversation in the gym and I'm going to steal this money. And I did. I took it. And I put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're still doing the same stuff 12 years later.
I know. Gym. There's just some things that are so ingrained in our spouses. And I'm sure there's things that I do that bug Heston.
I do for sure.
So, yeah. I mean, I know I'm not.
He hates that I don't like, that I want him to shower. Those things that I do, that drives him crazy. My pet peeves are his pet peeves because they're
reverse,
mine. Yeah. He's like, funny. It's carrying over to me. I hate that that's your pet peeve.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Not replacing the toilet paper roll. I think that just proves that you're a lazy person.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Or not even the toilet paper roll. Anything, if you take the last thing, if possible, if you're not ran out, you refill it.
Yeah.
Napkins,
or if the box is empty, throw away the box.
Trash is full.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you take the trash out, put the phone back. Like, whatever it is, if you are the last one to do it or last one to use it, you put it away.
Yeah. I think
open the door, close the door when you're done with it. Like,
thank you.
Things like, yeah.
I think the toilet paper roll is like a pretty quick indicator of your level of laziness. And also, how do you feel about people who don't put their carts away?
Oh, I don't like that either. I think that's so rude.
So rude.
Because I look at things so different when it's not yours.
Yeah.
Like a workplace, and this had happened on my X-ray job and some other places, like just like little things and that aren't big things. But I'm like, this is not your stuff. Like, you don't treat things like that. Or if you're done with it, you put it up. The space, when you leave, someone else is coming in this space and you're leaving it like that. Like, that's just things like that. I'm like, that's not yours. That cart is not yours to just leave out.
Yeah, you got to borrow it.
Yeah. Like, you went in to go get groceries, just put it back. Like, because there's people who have to go do that. Yes, I get that that's their job, but why not just put it back where you got it? They also put these
cart stalls out here for you to do that.
So you don't have to go back inside.
Yeah, it's part of the like social contract of existing in a society. So I feel like that's a big indicator of like who you are. And I have 3 kids. Guess what I do?
Yeah.
I put my dang cart back every single time. Yeah. But I also do try to be sympathetic because there are scenarios where your kids are screaming, the cart thing's too far. You don't want to leave them in the car. I get it.
Yeah.
But it can be done. I don't think there's any reason to not put your cart back. And I think that speaks to your like level of entitlement if you think you're too good to just
you're above
you're above everything. So it's just these little tiny things in society that we've agreed upon, like the social contract of life. We've agreed,
and they're not hard things.
They're not hard things, but they do tell a lot about a person, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So leaving lights on when leaving a room, I don't really care about that because
it depends. Like, I guess if I'm leaving for like the day, I mean, it's nice too. But if I'm like kind of like wandering around the house and doing whatever, but like if I'm done with that room, like I'm closing the door, like the light needs to be off. It doesn't need to just be on. My lights don't need to be on because I'm paying for that. If I want to like think about it that way. Or if we leave for a trip and we're gone for a couple of days, like I need to make sure all the lights are off. But if I'm just like up and about the house throughout, I'm not. I'll turn them off when I'm done for the day.
Just leave them on.
Yeah,
I agree. Leaving toothpaste in the sink. Well, I live with children, so not only is the toothpaste on the sink, it's everywhere. Daily. I can't make heads or tails of why this happens because I watch them put their toothpaste on and it seems fine, but then when I'm not there, it's chaos. What happened? So I don't know. And I ask them, how does this happen? And they both say, well, I don't know, or they blame the other one. So I don't.
It wasn't me.
I don't know. I don't remember being like that with the toothpaste.
I don't either.
So I don't know.
I don't remember that. I mean, I feel like it would bother me like if I just had toothpaste all over my stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, the kid thing, I get that, whatever. But like me as an adult, I wouldn't want that. Like,
yeah.
But I don't also do that because I can put my toothpaste on my toothbrush and it doesn't get everywhere
properly.
I can.
Well, and also like with the toothpaste with my kids, they have like 4 open giant toothpaste tubes. You probably seen them in the drawer. And then they complain about how it gets like crusty on the top, but there's lids everywhere. So I try to tell them, if you don't replace the lid, like your toothpaste is going to get gross. So I've bought an appropriate amount of toothpaste and I tell them like, because little Heston will say, I need new toothpaste. And I'm like, no, you have almost 4 full tubes. You need to manage the toothpaste that you have. When you completely run out, I'm happy to get you more. But just having it be a crusty top is not a reason for me to get you a new toothpaste because you did that.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. You.
Yeah. Or just I guess you could take the crust off.
Yeah, just clean it up.
Yeah.
So.
Use it. Are you toilet paper over or under?
Over.
Thank you.
Yeah. However,
my mom's an animal.
She is. You're right.
She'll go and turn it on purpose.
So, but you mean like, so when you're sitting and you spin it, it just comes out.
Like it goes over it. You're not pulling it like underneath. Under.
Okay. So the only reason that I would ever turn it the opposite way is because of Roan. He will unroll the whole roll.
Oh, okay.
But that's preventative. And that's like a case scenario with having a baby. And I think my mom turns hers the opposite way because her dog likes to go in and unroll. But if there's no one that is causing the kind of chaos like that, then you are an animal.
Yeah. Kittredge is an animal. And she'll go and she'll turn them at our houses on purpose.
To make you mad.
I'm like, you're so turd. And I'm like, that's not the right way. She goes, yes, it is. I literally found the patent for it and sent it to her. And I'm like, it's not the right way.
Oh, you found the patent. Okay. I think I remember having this discussion with with the two of you.
And that's another funny thing. Because I'm like, we didn't grow up that way. And she's like, yeah, I did. That's how I did. I'm like, how did we manage to both be the same? And you apparently not. Like all of us mutually put the toilet paper the same way except you. So I'm thinking you changed.
Yeah.
Because if you did that our whole life, how did
you
we
would
not
still
do that?
It.
Because we wouldn't have known anything different. I'm like, I feel like it's you. That's like Kim says.
That's a
wash.
Kit problem. Wash.
Yeah, she throws the R and like that. And I'm like washcloth. And I'm like,
isn't that like a? I know people have that in an accent. Which state is that?
I have no clue, and I don't know where that came from. I'm like, did you just develop that recently?
Or like bag?
Because that's the only thing she says, and I'm like, who did you get that from? Because we don't speak like that. Grandmother didn't. Mom didn't get that.
That's
who
so
did
funny.
You manage to get that from?
Huh? Does Kip say anything like that?
And it's the only thing. She doesn't have a weird whatever with any other words.
Huh?
I'm like, you just decided to start throwing the R in there?
Maybe she just is
so funny.
Trying
so
something
we give her
new.
Crap all the time.
What does she say to it? Like, this is how I always talk.
I don't know. She's just like, I don't know. She probably doesn't even know.
Because I know there's like a certain part of this United States where they say wash.
Yeah.
Milk. Yeah. Milk and bag.
Like bag. That's like a like Minnesota thing, kind of thing. Like, or Boston.
Oh, what was the one thing our coach used to say? Stephanie, because she was from Minnesota.
No, I don't know, like pop or so, you know how they say, you know, different things. It's definitely like a New York or Boston kind of thing, or
they say that like people in Arizona, or I guess like where I grew up, because we don't say our T's in words, so like mountain.
Oh yeah, I do that.
But it's like Mountain View.
Yeah, I don't say like Mountain View. I say Mountain View.
Mountain.
Or like I live in Denton.
Denton, yeah.
I don't say Denton.
Yeah.
It just sounds.
There was another word that someone, because I was visiting somewhere and they were like, "Do you have an accent?" Because I wasn't saying my T's.
Spell it with your P's.
Spell it with your P's. So I don't know.
That's funny. Home and daily. Leaving dirty dishes.
Wait, did I skip a page?
No.
Oh. I just skipped that one. Yeah, obviously leaving dirty dishes in the sink. That one doesn't bug me too much because sometimes like the dishwasher is not ready to go.
Yeah.
And my kids don't know how to load a dishwasher yet.
Yeah.
So I just teach them to either put it in the sink or put it on the counter.
Yeah.
But I think like if the dishwasher's dirty and you know it's dirty, like just go ahead and throw it in the dishwasher if you're an adult.
Yeah.
So like at night, if I've done the dishes and the dishwasher's loaded and then the kids are in bed and Heston and he'll have like a little snack or I'll have a snack. And then I always just say, hey, the dishwasher's dirty, because he'll be walking up to just set it in the sink.
Yeah.
But I'm done. I've already done my part. So the dishwasher's dirty, which means load the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to start it before I go to bed.
Yeah. Chewing on, we already did that one. Technology, slow internet.
I don't think that's really an issue anymore.
I mean, there's times like around here.
Yeah, it's
you
pretty
guys,
rough if you're not on Wi-Fi. Well, there's just so many people.
But I mean,
yeah,
it's not the end of the world. That's just us being spoiled with technology.
Clickbait headlines. I don't click on anything that I don't care about that. Loud. Yeah, I hate when I open a video and it's just blaring.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I didn't mean to be so rude.
Yeah.
That's just annoying.
People text K.
Yeah. Why are you mad at me? Why do you hate me?
Periods.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, why?
Yeah. One of my brothers will text like, happy birthday, period.
I'm like, so
like,
you're
why
not
do you
really
hate me?
happy? Yeah. So you don't really mean it. Cool.
Yeah.
You don't love me.
You didn't want to tell me happy birthday. You hope my birthday sucks.
Like, that's what you're saying.
Exactly. And like my mom will text K.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is she so
you're like,
upset?
sorry to piss you off.
Yeah. What have I done?
Yeah.
And the periods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not like intentional,
I don't
but
know,
I'll be
sometimes
texting
it can be.
you. Sometimes it totally
like when I'm
is.
short, like, and I am not in the mood or something happened, like I do get short with my text.
Yeah.
I'm like not in the mood.
Yeah.
But it's not always, I mean, that's not always the case.
Right.
Like sometimes it's just, okay.
Yeah.
Like what else do I say? Kind of thing. Yeah.
I hate the like thumbs up.
Yeah.
Like one time when I was having a pretty negative
like,
interaction with
like when you double tap thumbs up or when you send a thumbs up. Because I like
so this is the scenario of this scenario. I was having like a heated conversation with somebody through a text message, and I was just basically saying like how what she did made me feel. Obviously, this person doesn't give a crap about me and never has. And all she texts back is like a thumbs up, which to me is like F you.
Yeah. Well, that's like when I just said that story earlier where that lady thumbs up and I gave a thumbs up back. I was like,
so that was like the attitude.
Like, okay.
I know that she was sending it back to me and it was like, I don't give a crap about you.
Like, good for you.
Yeah. F you. And I hope I never talk to you again. So all I did is thumbs up and then I blocked her and I haven't spoken to her since. So it worked.
Like, okay. Yeah. In that scenario.
Yeah, sure. So I like her intention was to be like, I don't care.
Because I do
care
thumbs
about
up when someone's
say.
like, hey, make sure you do this or
yeah.
Come in the back. I'll just be like, ding,
yeah.
Like,
but I know what she was doing, and I know she knows what she was doing, and it's been
and we know that
it's been like 3 years, so
they don't know that we know they know. Typing in all caps.
Yeah. Why are you mad again? Why are you yelling at me?
I don't know if I care. I don't know if I think I know the point of it.
You're mad and you're yelling at me. One time when Heston and I were dating.
You really hate me.
I think we were engaged and I needed like a password for something. And so he texted me the password and the password is case sensitive. So it has to be in all caps.
Yeah.
So he's like texting me this password in all caps and I'm like, why is he so upset? Like I thought he was upset with me. And so I'm like, okay. And then I think he called me and he's like, just so you know, it's all caps. Like I'm not upset with you, but I was taking it like totally sensitive. Now, if he texts me in all caps, I would just be like, you're a jerk. But
whatever. I feel like all caps isn't necessary. I feel like if I used it, the intentions would be like excitement.
Yeah, like to highlight like a specific word
but not
or something.
Like, why are you? You know, I don't know. It wouldn't be. That's funny. Why do you hate me?
Why are you yelling at me?
Are there any big pet peeves that like you think of your own that wasn't on this?
I can't think so.
So one that I really, really hate. It's not a pet peeve. It's just what I guess it is. I don't know. I absolutely hate gum.
Gum chewing?
I hate when people chew it. It's so disgusting. I hate when I can smell it. Like
I did not know this about
grosses
you.
Me out. Like I won't even kiss Ryan if he has gum in his mouth.
Really?
Because it's disgusting. You're just chewing on the same thing over and over and over again. That's disgusting.
That's funny.
Just in your mouth and your saliva. Oh my gosh.
You're really selling me on the no
and
gum
then you're
thing.
Talking, you can see it and just going around.
Yeah, I don't like when I can see people's gum when they're talking.
When you talk, where is it going to go? You have to.
I'll like put it on the roof of my mouth or
That's
like really
gross.
put it back. I'm sorry.
Like, so something just chilling in your mouth, that's disgusting to me. Because I think about just like leaving bread in my mouth. Ew, why would I do that?
That's true. But gum is designed to last.
It's still disgusting. Something still is just chilling in your mouth, soaked in your saliva.
I'm not like a long time gum chewer. I'm like, I'm driving in the car. I'm going to chew some gum really quick and have it in my mouth for about 5 or 10 minutes to freshen things up. Then I spit it out. I don't like having gum when I'm interacting with people. So your face right now is just,
it's the thought of,
you're like beside yourself thinking about gum.
Like it grosses me out. And Ryan's like, and I don't like spit, not in my own spit too. It's not if someone spits, I will start gagging.
I can't
and if
stand
my
the
own
spitting.
spit like gets in, somehow I'm like, oh, it's so gross. So then I think about gum on top of that. You're just whooshing around your spit and saliva with the gum, just chewing on it. It's so gross.
I'm really grossed out right now.
It's disgusting. It is disgusting. I don't get it.
That's funny.
I don't like it. And usually the smell of gum and like, doesn't ever smell good. Like mint's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I'm
usually
glad you
like,
weren't here. Were you here when Liv got her 5 pieces of Bubblicious?
Yeah, she came up and was blowing bubbles in my face, and I was trying really hard to be like, that is so cool.
I did not even realize that. You played it off very well because you could have very much said to her, like, gum is super not my thing.
I almost did.
Yeah. And you have every right to do that.
But I didn't want to deal with what could have happened. I don't know. It could not have been good. It might have not been well. She might have been really mad at me.
She might have just spit the gum on you at that point.
So I was like, hopefully if I say that is so great, you'll walk away.
Yeah.
And be satisfied with my answer that you'll leave me.
That's so funny.
It worked. She winded up walking on and moving on to the next thing. And I was like, oh, thank Lord. And I could smell it. And she was blowing it. And I was like,
and little Heston got that whole pack twitching. Of the like big league chew. Oh man.
Disgusting.
You're having to deal with some things at my house.
That's fine.
Gross little kids, toothpaste everywhere, bubblegum chewers.
Doesn't bother me. I don't have to deal with it.
Because it's not in your bathroom,
And I mean, and I get that too. That's such a kid thing. Like it's anywhere.
You saw in the sink yesterday, Liv's like trail of toothpaste.
That's so typical like for kids. Like I've seen that Kenyon and like that one doesn't really bother me. Like whatever, it's not my deal. But the gum's not my thing.
Yeah.
But it's even like adults. It's not just kids.
Oh, adults sometimes are the worst. Like just smacking their gum.
I don't like it. I don't get it.
That's funny. Yeah. And I appreciate that.
It's probably one of
your things.
Weird things that I feel like nobody really agrees with me on. I'm alone on this one.
The other day, or I think it was yesterday, you were like, something about water. And I'm like, oh, here's my water bottle. You can have a drink. And then you made a very good point.
Said, no,
your kids all drink. And you're like, no, thanks. And I'm like, okay. And then you're like, no offense. Like all your kids drink out of this. And I'm like, oh, that's true. They are disgusting.
Want their backwash. Like if it was you, I could probably look past it. Because I'm assuming you're not like backwashing it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you do.
But they're loose cannon.
And it's funny. I'm really not, like I will share. I'll bite off. I will double dip.
Yeah.
But when it comes to kids and that, it's because they don't.
And that's completely reasonable.
When they bite into something, their bite's not like a clean bite. It's like slobbery. They're licking. So usually like I don't share with kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not good with sharing with kids.
I don't like sharing with kids either.
To it. But other than that, like I'm not really germy when it comes. Like if you take a bite of a sandwich, I'll take a bite after it.
Yeah, you're good.
I'll drink after your drink. I'll double dip into things. I will use your fork probably. Yeah. Unless it has like leftover gunk on it.
Yeah, but thank you.
But when it comes to like the kid stuff, I'm like, you guys don't quite know yet.
Yeah, how to keep things clean.
A little bit, yeah. The spit and saliva and their hands are usually gross, which is fine. There should be. They should be looking like little rag muffins. That means they're living their best life. But I don't want to eat after. Like, I don't want to
catch whatever disease you have brewing in there.
What's whatever on your hands? Sickness. I don't know. Like when Liv came with the stuff on her hands, you're like,
what did you?
She goes, I promise I don't know. And you're like, what? I'm not mad at you. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, your hands didn't just get like oily black on them for nothing.
We're like in this space and then we're setting things up and Liv's here and she comes in with black all over her hands. Yeah. And I'm like, well, what did you touch?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, I know you know what you touched. I just want to know what it is so I can help you.
Like, I did it. And she's like, I'm not mad. Like,
I just need to figure out what I'm dealing with here.
I'm like, what were, She's like, I don't know. And then Tessie was like, I think it was the chair. Like she was spinning it. And she's like, oh yeah, maybe. Like, But it was so much on her hands. I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
it
there
was
had to
crazy.
have been something.
And it happened within 30 seconds of getting here.
Yeah. And then I was also like, okay, did you touch anything? Like, go straight to the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's like, where did that come from?
That's funny. I'm trying to think of things that bug me, but I think we pretty much touched on everything. We got a whole spectrum on here. But I just be nice. Yeah. Just be a good person.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness is a big thing. Ooh, one thing that I'm just thinking about now is like, I think since COVID happened, I've noticed out in public, like people don't really make eye contact.
Yeah.
And that kind of bugs me because I like to look at everyone that's walking past me. And if someone looks at me, like I give a friendly, like, hey, how's it going? Or hi, or something. And I also think what's weird is like, I'll be sitting at one of my kids' activities and all these parents are there and all their kids are in the same class with my kids and like no one's talking to each other.
Yeah.
And so I'll just, if I sit next to someone like, oh, who's your daughter or where's your daughter in there? Oh, she's that one. And so I'll try and like just acknowledge them. So but then I think it's weird. Like we're all just sitting here. We're all here for the same thing, but no one's
interacting.
Yeah.
I do think that stuff has slowly changed anyway, but I do think COVID made a really big it
made it fast and it gave people an excuse to be like kind of rude.
Now I don't have to socialize because we were told not to for 4 years or whatever.
Yeah, however long that nonsense lasted.
Or weird, or you have limitations when you can. It wasn't just like natural. So then now people, I think, sometimes overthink like comfortability, like, oh, can I come up to this person? I don't know. Do they feel
they're afraid of the person's response.
So I think it definitely was like slowly becoming less and less social because now it's like we have social media. We can talk to people on there. We don't actually have to be face-to-face conversation. Yeah. And then I think that kind of like really pushed it because it was like, don't go near anyone, stay in your house, don't talk to anybody. So I think that definitely changed like the social.
Yeah. And like along with like the social media thing, I think a lot of like phone etiquette stuff that's another pet peeve of mine. I'm so thankful that I didn't grow up with my family having phones because I couldn't imagine like being with my grandpa or my grandma and like messing around and doing stuff and then like, them not seeing it or anything.
Hey, I'm on my phone.
So like, and all of us collectively as adults are guilty of it. Yeah. Because there's times like everyone's at my house and my kids are playing on the carpet and then I look up, every single adult is in their own world. Yeah. And it breaks my heart because that's moments you're missing out on. Yeah. And kids they learn fast. Okay. That person's on their phone. I'm not even going to try to show them anything because it takes me 3 or 4 times to say something to get them to like look up from their phone. Yeah. So that makes me sad as a parent watching that. And so I'm not very good at it. I try to like have time in the evening where I don't have my phone at all.
Like just set it.
Just try to be aware of it. But it does make me sad when we have like people over who are visiting and they're here and they're just sitting on their phones instead of like talking to my kids or watching them do something. So that's kind of a bummer. But I also think that it's kind of changing. I think parents my age are realizing how detrimental the phones are because there was someone I was here or did a reel or something about like the phone etiquette with like our parents as boomers. I don't know if that's the correct age, is as bad as teenagers. Yeah.
And I remember we were talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's interesting because the teenagers, they're growing up with it unchecked because their parents didn't ever have to learn how to do that. And then my generation, we didn't have the phones. So we're kind of growing up with them as adults, but we're also recognizing what phone etiquette is. And I think a lot of like the older generation, they didn't have phones and now they have them. So they still think they're part of the conversation even when they're on their phones the whole time. Yeah. So that's something that is kind of a pet peeve of mine. But you can only say it so many times like, hey, put your phone down, or hey, they're talking to you. You want to watch them, before you just give up and say that's your choice to disconnect. You're here physically, but you've decided over and over again that you're going to disconnect mentally. So you can only say it so many times to someone before it's like, I've done my best. Yeah. I hope in 20 years when you look back and you don't have regrets of going, I should have put that damn thing down.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
that's just me.
And I do think it's like a hard, tricky thing because we are in that generation where it's like so much is on the phones and social media, which are great. Like a lot of people work from their phones or they get business from their phone and they get, so there's like a hard line of like, because me and Ryan have these conversations and he's like, I have to have my phone on me at all times. He goes, because if I get a call or if I have to be available, which I get, but I'm like, but if you don't have to be on it, like just being aware of like the boundaries, which we're all guilty of. I know it's like a new thing. It's easy to come on. It's easy to communicate with people. It's easy to see things. So it's kind of fun to be able to connect sometimes to some extent to people that you can't, or like you said, business, or you're like doing stuff on it. And like a lot of our stuff is on social. So it's like there's certain things you're on posting, but just being aware and limited of like, when can I do this during the day? Or like, okay, I'm going to give myself this hour to really like edit or do, or, you know, whatever it is, or to answer emails or to reach out. I get everybody's life is different. Like with Ryan's, like his isn't, he can't plan a phone call if someone calls him. So his is a little bit different, but being like, okay, maybe then at night, like at dinner, like phoneless, or after us just watch a movie or something, like just being aware of like implementing those things in your daily life to be aware. Cause we're not going to get rid of the phones. I get it. There's so much good to it. I'm not necessarily against it, but I think there need to be healthy boundaries, and everyone's is going to look different because it's their life with it. It's different, but I get what you're saying too, where it's like, do we really need it? Like we're at dinner or, you know, we're outside playing, like, okay, check it here and there, but like, do we really need to be on it? It's nice outside. Let's go for a whatever. So I definitely do think there need to be boundaries and just like awareness. And I sometimes don't think that awareness to it. Yeah. That lady just at dinner, just listening to a movie on her phone. You're like,
yeah, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I didn't go to the movies.
Right.
I came to dinner. Yeah. So, but I think we're all guilty of it. Just being like, in these pet peeves, I'm sure I have like the pet peeves of the things that like I've done it too. And just like being aware of like, okay, I need to like take a step back and not do that, or am I too close to this person? Do I need to like always take a step back? But yeah, I mean, we're all guilty of it. Just practice on awareness for sure.
Yeah, just be better.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that one was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like it.
Thanks for listening. Hopefully you maybe agree with us, or have realized that you have some things you need to work on.
Or if you have pet peeves, let us know. If you find it like just see and hear things. Because I mean, everybody has them. Or we could be like, oh my gosh, me too. But yeah, thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys.